Hi, and this is Belinda. I am so glad to be back with all of you. I had a little much needed break through December, and so far in January I've been very ill, and there were friends on here who knew that. Thank you so much for all your messages and calls to make sure that I'm doing okay, and I am much better now. But as you can see from the page title, there have been some changes, and there are going to be a few more changes, a direction that I want to try to go in. I'm very excited about it, and I really hope and I think that you're going to love the changes as well. The name of the page is no longer The Southern Scribe. We are now Willow, Birch, and Clover, and by we, I mean me and my daughter Summer. And sometimes Allison. She helps some when she can, but she's in school, college, extending her education, and she doesn't really have time right now. I've really missed all of you, and I'm so out of practice of these videos. So just bear with me, please, while I try to get this going. My Facebook page name has changed also, and I'll leave a link to that down below for you. So if you want to visit my page to purchase a journal or to, you know, just see the page and see what's going on, you can do that. My email has changed. So if you want to contact me for any reason, whether it be personal or with a question or a personal request, now the email is WBC39601. That's my zip code, at gmail.com. And I'll be posting that below also to make it a little easier for you to email me or to contact me if you want to. You know, as most of you know, I had planned on doing a giveaway during Christmas, and that didn't happen because of my illness, but that's okay. I've got an upcoming giveaway planned. You'll be hearing about that soon, and I think you're really going to love it. So more about that later, and more about the changes that are being made later too. But for right now, I have a journal share that I wanted to share with you. It's a book that I made, a vintage style journal, and I call this one Clandestine Memories. For those of you who don't know, clandestine means done in or executed in secrecy, I think was the technical definition. And I imagine long ago when women were trying to live their lives and do their thing, they had to hide a lot. You know, for fear of being chastised. Women were more like property a long time ago. We all want to romanticize the Victorian era, but the hard cold truth is women were possessions and treated less like important individuals, more like you're going to do what I say, you're going to do what I tell you to do. So this journal has exactly the type of look, I think, as something that a woman could hide. It has a cover that looks like worn leather. It's not, it's craft tex, and this is just a little treatment I do to it to make it look like leather. But it really does look like leather. And because it's craft tex, it's not going to tear or wear out. But this just looks like something that could be tucked under a pillow or put in an old trunk to hide, you know, secret thoughts and ideas and hopes and dreams that women weren't really allowed to have back then. And on the cover, I also put some roses on the front and back. That just adds a little feminine touch. You know, I love to take inherently masculine looking things like a leather cover, you know, traveler style notebook that looks kind of manly, and making it feminine looking. That's, to me, that's kind of what, you know, that's one of my signature looks in my art. I love to do that, and I hope that you can see that as well in what I produce. The closure is elastic, and it goes in here in the back, in the middle. It will come off the book like this. And as you can see, this is another piece of craft tex, and I have just layered some vintage buttons, and these truly are vintage buttons. I got them off of, this one came off of an old coat, and these two were off of some old apparel. Now, don't worry, they look grungy on purpose. I cleaned these, once I removed them from the items. And then I went back in with some stains and inks and grunged them back up and sealed them so that that won't come off. And the reason I did that is strictly for sanitary purposes. You know, a lot of you already know I'm a radiographer and x-ray tech, and I work in a hospital, and this is flu and cold and pneumonia season, and I'm not trying to give anybody anything. So these were cleaned and then redistressed and sealed. But anyway, I've already taken the cover off, so we'll go inside and take a little look in here. Of course, I have a pocket on the inside, and this is fabric. This is actually eyelet that has been stained and stamped with a word, with a text stamp. And there's some crocheted lace there, making up the little pocket on the inside cover, and lots of ephemera you can write on the back of. And this is just a little piece of paper there that's stained up, and another piece of ephemera for journaling, so that all of your clandestine memories can be tucked away here for all of my bad girls or sweet girls who want to be bad girls. There's some gesso on these pages, and like I said, lots of tuck spots. I used some Tim Holtz paper in these. There's an envelope with a little card in it that's stained up for you. Lots of sewing on the pages that have lace and fabric edges, and also on the pockets. There's lots of stamping on the pages, and multi-layers of coffee staining and stamping. And this is like ticking fabric. I hope that you can see that. I hope I'm in frame. With a little pin with some buttons on there and a little lace. And I love these little tabs on the pages because, number one, they look very pretty on the profile of a book. And number two, they help you kind of keep track, you know, if you don't want to use a bookmark. But here's a pocket that's made out of some vellum with just little ephemera tucked in for writing and journaling. And I'm going to move on so that this video won't be too long. But you can see the staining and stamping, ticking fabric, the different techniques that I used with the coffee staining. Lots of old photographs and pieces of ephemera. I think those really add to the look of a book. On this clip, there's just some lightly, this is paper that has been stained with one layer instead of multiple layers. And that was just to help it stand out on the page here. But the page has got a little gesso, so that kind of makes it pop too. And just pins right there for you. And there are two of these type pins in this book. Coffee staining, and you can see the stamping on the edges. This book is just waiting to be filled with any kind of memory, really. I was just joking, they don't have to be clandestine. This is, you know, elastic. This is your typical Travelers Notebook, and it has the two signatures. I think I figured up it was just over 100 pages in this one. So more ephemera. The paper clips have been rusted for you. And some of this ephemera, I mean, these come from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. Some is trimmed off of Tim Holtz paper. Some is printed from Tsunami Rose. I mean, there's just tons. I don't remember. Some are Pinterest images. I can't remember them all. That's another vellum pocket there with a little lace trim on it. So, you know, if this book becomes yours, you'll have to flip through and really look at all the little ephemera. There's a lot of different kinds in this one. This one's very junk journal, very mix match on what goes in. The one thing I did know was that I wanted it all to look consistently old and grungy. And I think I have achieved that with the ephemera that I chose to use. This paper, this one and this one are Tim Holtz, you know, and this too. But there's some more photos and clips from old, you know, vintage children's books, and the vellum pockets with, like this one has 3 pieces of ephemera. There's a card there. I know that's EDG because that's one of my favorites. Layers and layers of coffee staining and grunginess, goodness. And you can hear the papers. They're just the right amount of crispy. They're not going to crumble on you. They're soft enough to write on, stamp on, do whatever else you want to. But they are firm enough to have that good crunchy sound. And more buttons. There's, I think, 4 total of these little, I call them bubble pins. I don't know the official name. You know, the little Tim Holtz vintage pins with buttons dangling there. And coffee. And another little booklet clipped in, coffee staining. This is, instead of being thick, it's a thin page that was coffee stained with the little bird eggs. So this one kind of has a, you know, a field note. It's not that size, but it has a field note feel to it, but it also has a, you know, old family photographs. Whose family? I don't know. There we go. There's a butterfly. Just tucked away. This is another vellum pocket. I loved vellum pockets. And of course, one of my signatures, there's light script stamping on every page. I think that just adds something. And the reason why I do that is because if you choose not to put something on a page, it's not going to look plain and empty in your journal. It still looks decorated. That's why I like to do the gesso and the script stamping throughout, but more so the script stamping because that's on just about every page of every book I do. I have several different script stamps, so it looks different in each one, but I think that just adds something to the journal. And it keeps a blank page from, or an empty page from looking like a blank page, I should say, because it's never blank. And there's a really grungy envelope for you with 2 pieces of ephemera in there. And this is a page from an old nature encyclopedia set, and I just tore the page out, and that is all natural, lovely grunginess there. I didn't have to do anything with that because I think it was from the 50s is the set. You know, for somebody like me, that doesn't sound like too long ago, but the 50s was, gosh, you know, almost 70 years ago. So, and there's the back cover. And you can certainly put your own photographs or pin a note or Mod Podge something on those, of course. And more ephemera tucked in the back pocket, which is made just like the first. And if you look, the inside of the cover itself, if you take out the signatures, and let me do that right quick to show you that, of course, you can make more signatures and replace them to go in here as you fill them up. This will just give you a look. It's fabric. This is fabric attached down to the inside of the Craft Tex, heavily coffee stained. There's a button to keep your elastic closure threads from going through there. You know, all practicality, but made to look old. So that's it. Like I said, this journal is my first endeavor after being away for a while, so I'm really happy to present it and really happy to show it. If anyone is interested in it, just follow the link below to my Facebook page, and you can leave me a message there or email me at the new email address that is listed below also. First come, first serve as always. Also know that I've said it at least 5 times and never followed through on it. My health is doing much better. I feel much better now. And my daughter, Summer, like I said, is helping me do some things. And she is, you know, sort of like this digital whiz. She's helping me set up my Etsy shop. That's in the works right now. So pretty soon you'll be able just to go directly to an Etsy shop and purchase. And I'll have an announcement about that coming up soon, hopefully within the next week. But anyway, thanks for watching, and thank you for your patience during my time being sick. And hope you like it. Bye-bye.